Hello my friends, welcome back to my new channel. Now anybody that supported me over the last 10-11 years might have come to the conclusion rightly that after 10 months inactivity I'd retired. I had, but now I'm not. I'll explain to you why. About this time last year or a bit later I completed my self-imposed door challenge, which was to collect all 580 yellow spines. I managed to do that, as I say, in November last year. And to be quite honest, I'd focused so much time, energy and money on it that I became burned out, to be quite honest, and decided maybe it was time to die and just retire. But then, just by pure chance, a couple of days ago, a video turned up on my front page on YouTube. By the way, I hadn't been looking at BookTube at all during that 10 months. This video turned up that said, show us your DAWs. I thought, it was about 2 weeks old, and I thought, okay, what's all this about? So I checked it out and saw a load of DAW videos, and I thought, well, I've got to get involved with this, and although I'm a bit late to the party, what I'm going to do is show you a full set of DAWs in my bookshelf with a bit of commentary about the logistics of actually collecting a full set in the UK. So if you'd like to follow me, I'll pop into my book room and we'll get started. Thank you. Okay, now here we are in my book room. Unfortunately, it's rather small in here, so I can't get a good panoramic view of the whole collection. So we'll have to do it in bits and pieces. So yeah, now these are in 3 separate bookcases. There you'll find numbers 1 to about, I don't know, 150, 180 maybe. Now, as you can see, when you're going for a collection of these, there are certain compromises that you have to make. Now you'll see that quite a few of them are nice yellow spines, as they should be, but there are a few that are white, and anybody, or grey, and anybody who collects DAWs will know that that's a big problem when it comes to DAW books. But as I say, when you start out, you have to make that compromise of accepting decent copies with faded spines, because it's some that does it. Yellow's a very bad colour to have on your spine, but that's the way it goes. So the compromise you have to make is, it would be very, very difficult to put together a whole set with bright yellow spines. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it would take you a lot of time and money, certainly a lot longer than it took me. So yeah, that's just a little aside there. And here, I'll get far back as I can. This is the main bookshelf with the main body of book. Now fortunately these bookshelves are deep, so at the back I'm able to keep all my DC and Marvel graphic novels in hardback, and also get the DAWs in as well. So there we are, we've got all this little lot. I'll get them all in. I'll try and come down a little bit for the bottom lot. And then they go right down there. Now, one compromise I wouldn't make is that I wouldn't accept any that didn't have the collector's number on, because that's important to me. I think there's one in there that's a placeholder that needs replacing, but by and large this collection is are all first printings. A few are early printings, not quite first, but I'm not too bothered about that. But there are a couple in there that are purely placeholders. There's there's that horrible looking one second from the end there. That piece of gore is not great either. And then the worst one is down here somewhere. Where are we? Oh no, that was the worst one up there. There's another one that's a bit grubby, you can see there, black almost. In fact, that is the worst one. That needs replacing. But yeah, that's the only three I've got that really are in very poor order. Now I'll have to move outside the room to get the rest of these in because the door gets in the way. Whoops. I finished falling over the mat. Right, so then the last couple of hundred are in this separate shelf. As you can see, I save space by putting books behind anywhere I can. So that's the final couple of hundred or more there. And that's the last of them. Now, it's very annoying because when I got to the end, number 580, which you can see on the top there, wouldn't fit. So I had to stick it on the top, which is a bit annoying, but I wasn't going to go back, push everything back just to get that in. So there it stands on the top. Right, we'll just come into the main room again. Now, Jules Burt, who knows much more about this kind of thing than I, tells me that this is the second UK full set. There's a chap called Paul Cooper who did it a while back. Now, coincidentally, and I didn't know Paul from Adam at the time, Paul was the one that set me on the way to collecting this this full run, because he had some bundles. I bought one off him which had about 80 in, then I bought another bundle which had maybe a few more, and I already had about 15 DAWs from when I had a big clear out way back. So you know, I was getting, well, around about 200 that I had, and then the idea occurred to me, could I possibly get a full set of these, because these have a very great nostalgic value to me, because I loved them back in the day, and I don't know why I got rid of all the ones I had, but it was needs must at the time, I guess. And yeah, he then sold me a few more, which boosted the collection somewhat. And at that point, I thought, yeah, maybe it is possible. But of course, it's more difficult to do in this country than it would be, say, if you lived in America, because I would say 50% of this stuff came from the States. Now, then you have the problem of postage. You have the problem of will they arrive. I mean, one shipment took about 6 weeks, and I thought, oh, that's not going to arrive, but it did. So you know, there's many sort of like worries along the way when you're trying to do this. But you know, all in all, it's considering it took me just 2 years to put together, you know, I'm not too disappointed with the condition, because even the white spine ones are in good shape. Now, if you care to hit the icon next to my name when you watch this, you can go to my channel and see the videos. I've actually done 8 videos on the first 400, complete 400, where I show the covers, and there's a commentary from me about the writers wherever possible. So, you know, you can see the first 400 as they are, if you want to do that. So yeah, well, that's about all I can say really, except if you want to drive yourself bonkers, you start a collection yourself, see how far you get. Right, okay, well, thank you for your indulgence. I will be back So I've shown 1 to 400. It is my intention to complete that video and do the other 180. So I'll be putting those up at some stage. So once again, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye bye now.